Run fast, run flat at the 2025 ASICS Gold Coast Marathon. Entries open 2nd of December. Head to goldcoastmarathon.com.au for more info. Welcome to episode number 371 of the Inside Running Podcast. Thank you for joining us for another week. We've got a big show coming at you this week. We've got some running news in here, a listener question, Moose on the Loose. We are going to do our segment that we do once a year as well, where we pick somebody each for the Zatopek 10,000 metres, which is coming up this weekend, and we're going to debate why that person that we've chosen is going to be the winner. So that's one of my highlights of the year, getting to argue with you two boys, even though we kind of do it the other 52 weeks of the year anyway. But yeah, really looking forward to having a chat with these two fellas, and thanks for choosing our podcast to listen to. Welcome to my co-host. He's down in Anglesea. For new listeners, because we picked up a few new listeners last week, in 2019 at the World Athletics Championships, we only sent one male for the men's marathon, and this is that guy. Julian Spence, welcome to you this week.
Thanks, mate. Geez, I'm going to have to do something just to knock that off, because it seems to be the only thing that you remember.
That's just the big thing, isn't it? It's the claim to fame. That's why what people remember you for, and probably going to be the top of your resume for a long time to come.
I'd say it might be there forever now, but let's see. I'm still waiting on a few footy clubs to call me back. So I've discussed with a few in the industry about whether I play for a local club first, whether I risk that getting seen, whether there's enough scouts in the regional areas, or whether I go to the city and just get in their face early.
Just knock on the door of Cardinia Park.
Still tossing it up, yeah. I'm not sure whether the VFL clubs just have like open tryouts, but I could go and just maybe try and win the beep test, go from there.
My other co-host is based in Canberra. He's got a PB of 2:17 for the marathon and a 1,500 metre PB of, I'm going to say, 3:46. Bradley Croker, welcome to you this week.
Thanks, Brady. It's only 3:48, but I'll
take it. Take the 46. Take the 46.
Maybe in new spikes I could run 3:46. Hey, Moose, with your footy aspirations, you realise you do have to run in footy. You can't be on a paddle. Yeah. You can't be on a paddle board.
I can't even go to footy training because I'm not running right now. Can't sit on the sideline and watch the running. I'll go straight to my purchase of the week. Got a pair of footy boots.
No, you didn't.
Shit.
Surely
not. Pair of Mizuno Morelia, they're called. Got a kangaroo leather upper. Beautiful boot. So soft. And I took them down the oval. First kick, clanger. And I thought, hold on a second, this was supposed to help me kick. And it just like a full dead spot on the boot where it just like totally died and dribbled off. And I thought, oh no, maybe the boots don't help. This is like going out and running a session in a super shoe and blowing up after the second rep.
It also can't be good for whatever. What's your injury again? Hip, knee?
Oh,
what is your current injury? Hip.
Yeah, the whole kicking thing, it actually like gave me some proper DOMs kicking the footy. Like hamstringing. High hammy was sore, got some like OP stuff going on, and I was kicking at 20 metres, like at a stretch. Yeah, I'm an old man. But this is the whole thing, boys. Got to become 3D athlete now.
Is this the beginning of the end for our podcast?
Yeah, I was shaking my head when he mentioned that. Not for the podcast, maybe for one individual.
Just flirting with a few other sports, and then I'll be back. Don't worry, I'll be back to the main squeeze, the main lover.
Hey, big show last week, fellas. That was huge. Thank you to all the people who tuned in. We don't really talk. I hate talking about, success of the podcast and things like that, but it totally did blow my mind last week when I Zach was sending through some stats. We were the 13th highest sports podcast on the charts at one stage there. I think the only one in the top 100 that's like independently owned as well, like not backed by a big like radio company or listener or whatever it is. And I think on the Thursday, our episode last week was higher than SEN, Triple N, M, the Howie Games, Dylan Friends, like all these massive Australian podcasts. So I was actually on my lunch break at school and having a laugh about that. I'm just like, this is crazy that our podcast that we make in our sheds, or in my shed, got to that level, and that's really thankful for the listeners. That pretty much just picks up the numbers of the listeners and puts it in a chart and things like that. So massive thank you to the people who tuned in last week off the back of Izzy and Andy and their runs at Valencia.
Thanks to them too. They probably played a bit of a part in that. Brady.
Probably a little bit, yeah.
Coming on our show and talking about their race, we might give them a bit of kudos, because I don't think that many people are tuning in to hear Croaks talk about his 29-second 200.
Or paddle boarding without a fin.
Yeah, that kind of stuff's probably not ripping the listenership in.
No, it's good. It's good, boys. Do you want to go there again? Go, Croaks. Tell us about your week. Any quick 200s? Any shirt-off action in the shed?
Oh, those shirt off. Both sessions were shirts off, because it's we've probably had like the most hot and humid week this early in summer that I can remember in a long time. It was actually a really tough week of training just from a weather point of view. Monday morning got out 45 minutes, 4:27s, and then Tuesday morning got out for 30 minutes at 4:20s. Tuesday afternoon we did a hill session, so it was 2 sets of 8 45-second hills. We're having about 80 seconds recovery between the hills, and then 3 minutes rest between the sets. And this was brutal. So like all day, the weather probably was around 20 degrees, cloudy, but very humid. And then in the afternoon, we had like a bit of a downpour sort of storm. And then the sun came out and it was like 26 degrees, really high humidity, so probably felt like 28. And like this was not an enjoyable session at all, because I just felt cooked even after the first hill rep. I just could not get my heart rate down. Didn't feel like I was actually running up the hills super quick. I just couldn't do it. Like the heat and humidity had me focusing on that, and it just zapped my energy more than I could actually focus on really getting any quality out of the hills. But we got through it. So then Wednesday morning, I woke up and my heel was a bit sore. So I'm guessing it's sort of like insertional Achilles type stuff. So I ended up just taking Wednesday off just as a bit of a precaution. The positive from the hill session was my glutes were actually like quite domsy. So I'm like, well, that's good. Shows that I was actually using them and that they're probably a bit weaker than they should be. It did seem to settle pretty well with that day off. So then Thursday, I got out for an hour, 4:19s out at Mulligan's. And then Friday morning, did a treadmill session. So 5 by 6 minutes off 1 minute rest. Once again, it was pretty warm. So I think when I finished the session in Canberra, it was 25, felt like 28, but I'm in the garage. So I started the first rep a little bit slower than the week before, just because I wasn't sure what my heart rate was going to do. So I did that one at 17K an hour or 3:30s. And then the next 4 reps were at 17.5. So heart rate probably only went maybe 3 or 4 beats higher than the week before. And I find this is, although it's hot, you're only doing it for 6 minutes. I can jump off, I can have a drink, I can basically put my head under the tap if I need to in that minute. And I at least feel like I'm bringing my heart rate down pretty well. So, it ended up being a pretty good session. That afternoon, I went out. I had I need to stop wearing the Mizuno shoe. So it was 33 degrees in the afternoon. Went out for 8K, 409s. Felt actually pretty good off the treadmill session in the morning, but obviously too fast for a double run after a session. Saturday morning, did an hour, 4:23s. And then Saturday afternoon, went out for 30 minutes at 4:15s. And then Sunday ran with Jack and Zach. So we did, Jack did 90 minutes, Zach and I did an hour 45. And I really struggled on this run. I don't know if I just was a bit dehydrated to start with, just with, all the running I'd been doing in the hot weather. But the last last 20 minutes of this I found pretty tough. So yeah, it was 25K, 412s for a week of 118K with a day off. So a few extra doubles in there. So I think I did 3 doubles that week.
Did you do that because you had the day off and you were chasing some more Ks?
A little bit. Like I'd always planned to do at least 2 doubles, probably like the session days, and then did probably an extra one just because I took the day off, which in hindsight probably meant that by the end of the week I was pretty tired by Sunday because I'd had a double Friday, double Saturday, and then long run in the heat on the Sunday.
No matter how many times, Croaks, I hear it, I got to tell you, it's hot. Slow the fuck down.
Yeah.
Especially on those doubles when it doesn't matter how fast you run. In fact, slower the better.
Yeah. Almost. I actually think the long runs are the ones that I need to slow down more in the heat than the doubles because it's like I feel like for 30 minutes you can sort of get away with it, but the heat sort of compounds over the course of an hour 45. And so like we all felt, I reckon, pretty good for the first 75, 80 minutes of that long run, but then it was the last 25 where that's when it starts to bite.
I guess hotter too as you go into the day. But what about like that session you did? Do you consider adjusting your sessions for the warmth?
Well, I feel, like I do. Like, so tomorrow, for example, originally I had a session down of 5 because we'd got the Mulligans handicap this weekend. So we're going to do like 5 minute, 4 minute, 3 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute, 5 minute off a slow jog recovery. And we're going to do that at Thoroughbred Park. And I was then going to turn it into just like standing recovery as opposed to jogging, just to make it a little bit easier. But then I've changed it to a track session just so we can actually like just hydrate a bit more. Because I find at Thoroughbred Park, because it's such a big loop, you end up getting pretty isolated from your drink bottle. And, we're doing it in the afternoon. And so it's, close to 30 degrees and these continuous sessions, like, you can slow them down, but even, even just jogging in that sort of temperature, like, is pretty hard. So I am modifying the sessions a little bit. I feel like the hill session was actually an okay one to do in the heat because you're only running for 45 seconds at a time. You're getting decent recovery, but I think all of us, we just weren't acclimatized to the humidity. Like, we normally don't get that sort of humidity in Canberra. But the last year or two, the weather's definitely changed here. It used to always be a real dry heat, whereas now it's a bit more humid than it used to be.
Yeah, same here. I feel like, we were always dry heat as well, but now the humidity seems to be there.
Yeah.
It's a good week though, Croaks. When are we racing? When are you pacing? You got the handicap, but was that Stromlo 5K on the crit track? Is that happening in Jan?
That's in January.
Let's do that. I was thinking about coming up. You know how I said I'm going to visit you? I might come up for that race.
Yeah, all right.
Is that what date in Jan, do you know?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it.
Got to work on this head-to-head moose. Get the numbers up
very
a bit.
wet, you two.
Nah, Croaks has smashed me. It's like, I think it's like 6-0 against me.
0?
You've
never beaten him?
Never beaten him. Hard man to beat.
Wow.
At least, it's probably at least 4 zip. Yeah, so I need to take him down.
Well, was it Gold Coast?
Gold Coast half, you got me the day I met you. Regretting that day.
Big 5K.
Big 5K. Sydney 10, you got me.
Lakeside 10.
Lakeside 10K.
Wow.
Smoking me.
You got a mental edge over him.
Yeah, maybe.
I think those days are gone, unfortunately.
You're going better than I am post-marathon, I reckon. But anyway, let's hear from you, Moose, and then we can get into my week. What have you been doing? Is it no run and doing your head in?
No, it's not actually. It's not? I'm quite relaxed about it.
Are you?
I've taken it totally out of my decision making in the mornings when I wake up. I'm like, I don't have to think about running or not. It's very calming for me. Because when you've got a niggle, you're constantly thinking, should I run or should I not run? And then if I run, like, is it going to get worse? Where should I run? Should I avoid hills? And then you get halfway in and you get sore and you fucking get angry at yourself for making the wrong decision. So to not have the decision to run's been really good.
Are you at the point now, Moose, where you start to, like, obviously when you're running, you get caught up in this bubble where, like, running is just everything. And then when that's taken away from you, like initially, and this would happen for me with the heart stuff, like initially it's really hard. And then you get to this period after that where you're like, fuck, there's a whole big world out there that doesn't revolve around running, and you're like, oh, this is actually not that bad.
Yeah, it's been it's been good to actually focusing on the business has been a big thing, because I've got 2 stores now, well, 3 stores really, and I didn't expect it to be this much work. I probably underestimated it. So there's just a lot more that I need to be on top of. And I'm working 6 days a week in the Turkiye store, and on top of that, managing both, that's on the floor, and then managing both stores as well on top of that. So that's all work that I try to get done during a day, but most of the time it spills out. So into the evenings or earlier mornings, and then you're having all your meetings outside of work hours. So it's come at a pretty good time. And I'm not sure whether I'll be able to go back to running 12 hours a week ever, just because of how busy I am with work. But I'm pretty much thinking about just preparing my body to run again. So I'm in the gym every second day, and I'm doing a lot of stuff that will hopefully strengthen the body for when I return, making me a bit more resilient. That's how I'm approaching that.
Do you start to set business goals how you would usually with running? Or you used to do that anyway?
Not really. I don't anymore. I don't really it's pretty tricky. I kind of just want to it's difficult to do that with a store that opened in 2010, the Geelong store. So it's now been open for 12 years. And it's so, the industry's ever changing. We always just, you just kind of don't want to get complacent. That's the main, that's for me. I just don't want to be complacent in any aspect. And as soon as I start feeling that, it's too late. So I want to be ahead of the game, and a lot of the time that's trying to find innovations in how we help people on the shop floor, or different product stuff that might be coming out, how we buy differently, marketing, which we've never really done before. Can we do something about that? And I've never fully looked at how the business operates on the back end. Some people are very good at looking at profit loss and all this, where all your expenses go and trying to trim the fat. I've never cared about that. I've never really cared about making money from the business at all, enough just to sort of pay the rent or the mortgage, and that's okay. But now with 2 stores and less, more wages, and I really, in order for the stores to be successful, and when I say successful, pay everyone and pay us out enough to live on, then I have to start looking at that more closely. And that's pretty much what it's been. So small little costs that have been there forever, that how do we get this better? And that's learning for me, because at the start you're just selling shoes, and if you're good at selling shoes, then that's just what you do all day, and the business grows and it survives. Now it's a little bit more complicated than that, and I've never learned how to do it properly. So I am learning on the fly.
With the running boom, has it become way more competitive too?
The market?
Yeah, people the customer looks for different stuff than they did 5 years ago?
Yeah, it's the customer boom, the running boom has brought a few different customers in. Customers that really don't care too much about the technical aspect of their footwear. It's something that they're in it not so much to improve massively as a runner, but they might be there for more social reasons, and they might be there to have fun, and that's great. For our sport, it's great for our sport, not because that's running is their social outlet. It's because a lot of those people will get the addiction to running, and then they'll start to look at okay, I'm loving this. I'm feeling like I'm getting better at it. I want to get more serious about it. And that's how we snag in the running disciples like us. That's how we get more people that potentially would grow the sport. So we don't necessarily get a ton of the new Running Boom customers in our doors because I think we might be a little like I just don't think that demographic is really shopping with us massively at the moment. But we want to, like, we're starting to open our doors to that, like having run clubs join our come from our store, introducing them to running brands that they might never heard of before, just providing a place where they can base themselves and run out of. And then when the time comes and they want to get more serious, then perhaps we can help them there. But we, like, even today, like, I had 3 customers. They're all doing it's called Kicker. It's like a introduction to running course. There's 2 ladies in Melbourne, 2 ladies that start this app. They've got an introduction to running course. They're 2 very popular ladies on Instagram. I had never heard of them the other day. The staff, I think, were telling me about them. Like, say, have you, like, surely you know these ladies? And I hadn't. I asked Toby. He hadn't heard of him. Jimmy hadn't heard of him. And then the staff goes, ask your girlfriend or your wife if they've heard of him. And they all had heard of him. Have a look. It's called, like, Clean Living something or other.
Did one of them go to New York to do New York Marathon?
Yeah, with New Balance, I think.
Yeah. I only learned about them a month ago. It's a real big startup or something, wasn't it? I don't know. I'm probably murdering this as well. Now.
But like 3 of our customers just on any day are doing an introduction to running, which is awesome. It's like a run walk program. So that's great. And that's maybe like, that's the running boom that these people aren't putting that on Instagram. They're not doing run clubs or whatever, but that's the running boom that you don't see about that I guess we're seeing in store a little bit more.
So Moose, back to your rebuilding for running. Couple of questions. How does then buying a pair of footy boots and going down and potentially injuring yourself doing that fit into it? But also, like, gym stuff, because I know in the past, sometimes when you go into things, you go into them like maybe a bit too aggressively and then you injure yourself in the gym.
I'm always sore from my gym sessions. So I just bought a leg extension attachment to my bench. So it's a functional thing. Like, it's good for my quad strength for my knee. But now I get in there like last night and I'll do some heavy quad stuff. And then I'm like doing some like medicine ball throws, you know, like in the high rocks. I think they call them wall throws or something with big medicine ball. Yeah. And then I'm doing some squats and then I finish and I try to walk up the stairs and I'm like crawling up the stairs because I went a bit hard on it. But these are things that I don't have to worry about because I could never have run after that, but I don't have to worry. And so I'm like, this is okay. I can get DOMs from this. It's good. I don't think I'll injure myself. I might create a body that's a little bigger and heavier than what it has been. So it might take a little bit more awkwardness when I return to run, but it'll hopefully the strengthening benefits will keep me injury free when I get back to it. But yeah, the footy boots is fun. Like, that's just a fun little purchase. Kick a few goals down there, a few sallies out. Like, I go down 7:30, no one around. Practice the ice in the veins celebration when I kick one from the pocket. Had the video set up. Had the iPhone on selfie mode. Kick the goal celebration.
Do you go down with like a regulation footy or you take one of like Pia's down there?
No, I got the big one. It's a bit like a basketball.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling myself, that's why it's spinning like a helicopter all the time.
Yeah, the kids ones are good to kick. Even when I'm on yard duty, I really like the smaller ones. Just get a bit more purchase on it.
Yeah, you can get the drop punt a bit easier.
Yeah.
You ever try kicking on your left foot?
I was actually kicking the footy. Now you're talking about it. I was kicking the footy with my brother today. He had a baby and we went down and visited his baby and then me and him just in his backyard. And I said to my old man who was there, I'm like, we could dust off our boots. Like, he won a league medal, my younger brother. Very good footballer. Nearly played AFL. I wasn't quite as good, but my skills were okay. Just no good with this body on the field. Just getting pushed around a bit too easy. But, some good skills on both of us. I mentored, I was a year above Joel Selwood at school. So I had a bit to do with mentoring him when he started athletics and taught him. Yeah, him and Andy Buchanan, two of my proteges who I've mentored over the years from back in my Bendigo days. So, I know a thing or two about footy and don't usually talk about it too often.
Oh, nah. I haven't heard you talk about footy before.
I mean, yeah.
But I haven't heard that story about your brother.
Yeah, good footballer. Yep. Played for Eagle Hawk, pretty rough area of Bendigo. So it was good. You met him. Remember the time you met him and he just bought that mower off Aldi?
Hey?
Didn't you remember? Didn't he just buy a mower that day off Aldi or something like that? We were talking about mowers with him, weren't we? I got a better memory than you.
That's not good. I remember meeting him.
The 2025 ASICS Gold Coast Marathon is set to be epic this year. Run your new PB on the flat, fast, scenic course set alongside the stunning Gold Coast beaches. Over 60% of finishers report setting a personal best at the Gold Coast Marathon, and it's not hard to see why, with such a great course. The 2025 event will host the Oceania Marathon Championships, drawing fantastic local running talent to the Gold Coast. Both the full and half marathon are World Athletic Label races, the only race in Australia with dual labels. Whether you're running or spectating, the 2025 ASICS Gold Coast Marathon is the place to be in July. Entries open on the 2nd of December 2025 and they will go quickly. Head to goldcoastmarathon.com.au for more information.
I'm going to go through this week, okay, fellas? This will be quick because I didn't do much. Monday, 60 minutes in the morning at 4:25 pace. Got out for 7K in the afternoon at 4:23 pace. Tuesday, did a monofartlek. Haven't done a monofartlek for ages. And boy, did I know it. There is no hiding in that workout. Like, I've been doing a lot of, I'd say soft workouts, like progression runs, like kind of safe workouts. Ones that you can experience success in. And you might be putting yourself in a hole, 80, 90% into the workout, and then you can just kind of wing your way through it. But a monofartlek, like you're in trouble 8 minutes into that workout, and you've got to try to hold it together. So, and I did. When we went out and back, I like doing it that way, and I got probably 30 meters back further than where we started. So I paced it properly, but man, the perceived effort was high. It felt hard, like it was, which I think the monofartlek always feels hard. I don't think you can do that workout without it feeling hard.
I reckon 8 minutes is a bit early though to be feeling it. I used to always feel it with maybe 6 minutes to go, like sort of more that 14 minutes. But I compare it to
probably, it was more than 8. It was in probably the last couple of 1 minute ones. What's that, 10 to 12 kind of? Yeah.
I compare it though to like the first time if you haven't done Deeks quarters for ages and you do it, you get to like 6 reps in and you're like, I'm like barely going to finish this session. And it's the same as when you haven't done a 5K race for a while and you get to 3K and you're like, God, this last 2K is going to be a nightmare. But then you go back 2 weeks later and you get a little bit further feeling the same. And then, you do it again and then you're fit when you can actually do the whole 20 minutes and you're still accelerating and recovering well. Yeah, and your float pace is a bit quicker than it was a month ago kind of thing. And that's what I said to Archie in the cool down. Like, let's pencil that in for 3 weeks' time. Like, we've got he blew a bit that day. I think I dropped him at 7 minutes in. So he had a rough morning out there, but we got it done. That was all right. So
you did a good job keeping your floats and your ons like polarized as well.
Yeah.
A lot of the time you get to that 30 second and it's just like on, kinda on, on, kinda on, but it's very easy to get caught up in trying to achieve a maximum distance in the last 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah.
It also shows like just the different systems you need to work in that, like, we're probably all at the point now where we like those comfortable sessions, there's a lot of threshold stuff, but there's still a place for this, really hard work, which we neglect sometimes because, it's not as enjoyable.
It's going to hurt you, but you do get some really good data out of it. And I probably thought I was maybe a bit fitter because then you get in the trap of comparing it. You're like, when I'm really going well, I can do 6.5K, whereas this was 6.2K. And I'm like, I thought I was maybe a bit fitter than I was, but try not to read too much into that. And I've also haven't done a lot the last 8 weeks. So got out for 6K in the afternoon. Saw a goanna. You guys ever come across goannas when you're running?
Down the coast, I did. I don't see them here in Canberra.
We don't have them here.
They startle you. Like if you, and I've probably spoken about this one before. He's in the same spot every summer when it gets hot weather, and you kind of got you're looking around, you're like, where is he? And then he just goes off the ground, starts climbing the tree. I'm going to say he'd be 1.2 metres, like nose to tail. Like he's a big boy, this one.
Do they hiss a bit as well?
They do when they're threatened, but he usually gets up the tree quick enough. I've heard like stories where they think people are trees and they've tried to climb up the people. Oh. I don't know if that's like urban legend, but that I always cack myself, like thinking he's going to try to run up me, like real spiky fingers. Yeah.
Can't imagine this goanna's threatened by Brady throw for running past.
Hey mate, 58 kilo powerhouse over here.
And it's not a very tall tree.
So that was in the afternoon. That got my heart rate up a bit. Wednesday, got out for 90 minutes, 4:36 pace. Listened to the finale of Road to Valencia. Croaks, I enjoyed that. Really good listen. You knew Croaks had been banged around by those hills moose because he looked really weathered in the video.
I was cooked. I literally got home, had a quick bite to eat, and I was shattered. Like, I was so tired from those hills.
Now, you wouldn't have guessed that by listening to it, though. It's only because I saw some images of you, but you held it together really well, and it was a good episode. Not easy for those boys to front up when they didn't get the results they wanted, but true professionals. And, you're listening to them just like, just great content. So enjoyed that. And a massive thanks to Chriso and Jordo for being involved there. Thursday, I got out for a quick workout before work. So I did 5 by 5 minutes, around 3:15 pace, 1 minute slow jog between. I was very tired because we'd come off. I think I podcast 4 nights in a row, Sunday through to Wednesday. So I was just a bit tired. You're doing them late at night. What night did we do Andy Moose? I reckon we didn't get to sleep until about 11.
Tuesday.
Was that Tuesday? Oh, and then I did Brad Camp Wednesday off the back of the Valencia reaction show and then our weekly show. So I was just tired. Got to figure out how we make this our day jobs, boys, and actually do it during the day would be nice, not at 9, 10, 11 p.m. at night sometimes. But I just felt in my workout I was just a bit tired, a bit fatigued there. And then Thursday night I drove to Bendigo. I was off on a friend's trip. Once a year we go away with a couple of uni and school, primary school, some of these guys, secondary school mates as well. There was about 8 of us who went on a trip to the Gold Coast, Palm Beach. Never really stayed in Palm Beach. This is kind of like near the airport, probably 5 minutes from the airport. And then, one of the guys, a different person organises it every year. So up there, our flight was at like 8:30 a.m. Got up there, went for a run with Crammers when we got there. Nice half an hour. Went south from Palm Beach. And then, just got to hang out with my mates. I only really see these guys once a year, which is good. Hung around there. And then Saturday went for a solo run. Crammers didn't get up with me this day. And I went out to Burleigh Heads. And there's that. Have you guys ever run there? You know that path that goes around the national park there?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? Like, very popular, like a lot of people on the skinny path, but it's cool how you're just in this forest overlooking the ocean.
Yeah, it's not real long either, the path.
Yeah, K&a-half maybe?
Yeah, it might be good for someone from Echuca who doesn't get out much. But you'll know when you come down here why I don't get excited about what you're talking about there.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
The Roo Run has better views than that.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty beautiful up there. I think it's big with the Instagram influencers. A couple of people in my comments talking about it, but it was pretty beautiful, Moose.
If they had a loop like that was 8K, that would be amazing.
Yeah. The place is just so disjointed with like, here's a path along the beach. Now you got to cut into the main footpath and you got to cut back again. It's just like, I think they're getting better at it, but even down that end, we were, jumping onto these mini laneways kind of things because the beach was closed. Well, the beach path didn't exist, I suppose. So just absolute different world up there too, isn't it? Like, it really is. Feels like going to a different country. Queensland, Gold Coast. No one wears any clothing. Everyone's got the best tans getting around. Tattoos. Whoever's a tattooist or selling tanning oil up there must be making a killing. Like, just a fitness capital. Everyone is fit. Incredibly fit.
Different zone.
Everyone's exercising.
Yeah, there's a few key looks up there, I noticed. For women, a lot of the crop top with like a puffer jacket over the top.
Yeah, just it was too hot for that. It was pretty hot up there.
Oh, that was what I noticed at the Gold Coast, that look. Like a long tights crop top puffer jacket.
So many e-bikes up there as well. Like, everyone's just on these e-bikes that kind of, like, they're even good looking e-bikes. Like, they look like motorbikes. They just ride them everywhere.
I got one of them.
You got one?
Yeah.
What, didn't you get an e-bike years ago, but it wouldn't have looked like this?
No, Bree got a mountain bike e-bike.
Yeah.
So, but it hasn't arrived yet. It's for taking Pia out, like, because she goes to kinder down the bottom of the hill. We live up a hill that's like 120 meters high, that's 2K down, so it's super hilly. So taking Pia to daycare, she'll sit on the front of it, and we'll go down to kinder next year.
This is exactly what I was watching, Croaks. Just people, they just got out of the water surfing. They got their kids dressed, just hanging on the back of it, surfboards on the side, no helmets on. This is exactly what Moose is going to be doing.
It is a real Gold Coast thing, actually. That's where I see most of the promo for it.
Yeah, a lot of them. That was my observation. Yeah. Like, everyone is riding these, like, e-bikes, but they're cool e-bikes. Like, your e-bike that you had a couple of years ago, or that Breeze one, that's kind of like...
That ain't cool.
Yeah, not cool. It's like the battery's too big, like, just looks a bit nerdy, but this one's cool. Does not surprise me at all that he's gone and bought one, Croaks.
No.
Good for the environment. It keeps the cars off the road. Good for the traffic, too.
But it would be a similar price to just a decent motorbike. Just get your motorbike license and ride a motorbike.
Yeah, but a motorbike takes gas, petrol. This is electric.
Oh, you still got to charge it every night. Motorbike also goes faster than 30 k's an hour.
You can go places on an e-bike that you can't go on with a motorbike.
What kind of places?
Like bike paths and stuff.
Yeah.
Beach. You can ride on the beach.
Yeah. True.
You think cars are better than bikes for the environment? What's your argument here?
No, well, I don't know. Motorbikes don't use that much petrol. They're pretty efficient. Like the one I used to have, it used to cost me like $4.50. Like, I used to have a postie bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like $4.50 to fill it up.
More than an e-bike, though.
Yeah, but you'd have to charge that all night. Imagine how much power you're using.
There's a fucking motor in it.
Yeah.
This is like a bike, but it gets up the hill a little bit easier. Think of it like that.
Can't you hotwire them to go even faster, though? You going to hotwire yours?
Yeah, so they're not allowed to sell them. They're capped at 25k an hour, but if you're on private property, you can unrestrict it.
You just get a screwdriver out and start mucking around with the battery.
I don't know yet.
Yeah, you've looked it up.
I don't need that.
You'll be going 80k an hour up that hill at your place.
Yeah, with your 3-year-old on the front.
What do you mean they're capped at 25k an hour, Moose? Like, you can ride faster than that with just a normal bike.
Yeah, Buchanan's marathon pace, mate.
Regulations. It's the regulation for the industry is that if you can't have an electric bike, because you can ride them on footpaths and stuff. Yeah, it's going to be fun. You can also take the you can use a throttle on it on your private property only, not on the roads. So you don't actually have to pedal
at all, and it's just going to go 25k an hour.
It'll go. Well, it depends if you're restricted or not.
He's looked into this, Croaks.
Well, it's just the info pack they sent me.
And that's what I did on Saturday. Noticed all those e-bikes. Sunday, no run. That was a travel day back. Guess what, boys?
No run?
Nah, we had to be at the airport at like 11 a.m. or something. And I had a choice to go for a run or I could go for a swim with my friends in the ocean. And I chose to go Blue Doctor.
How hungover were you?
I had a lot of fun in the ocean too. It was very good. Like, I haven't been in the ocean for a while. And just riding waves, jumping in over them. It was quite fun, Moose. I'm looking forward to getting angles in a few weeks.
Did it eat you up not running? I reckon it would have eaten you up not getting out for a long run.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm very good at being like, I'm on a boys' trip and I want to be present with my friends that I see once a year because for every other weekend of the year I go on a long run and like there would be times where I'm like I choose not to be social and hang out with these friends and I'm like this is a time not to be obsessed with doing long runs and stuff. So it would be different if it was like 5 weeks before Chicago. I would have been like nah, I'm probably not going on the trip. But I think, you got to know when to hold them, fold them kind of thing, Croaks. And this was just be with your mates. Go from there.
Kenny Rogers.
When to hold them and when to fold them.
Yeah.
I don't think that works in that scenario, but that's good.
You know what I meant, don't you? Making my sayings on this show. But it was a good trip. Enjoyed it. 90k for the week. Got to pull my finger out now. That's been 8 weeks in Chicago. But this is probably the shittest 8 weeks I've ever had on this podcast, I was thinking.
I still reckon you're going all right.
I'm going okay, but I just need to get the mileage back up. I'm going to get smoked down at this run and people are going to beat me who I won't be happy with, and that's going to be a real kick in the chin.
How much of it, though, you reckon is actually psychological that you're not going well? Because, you look at your Strava and it doesn't show that you're running 100-mile weeks. But I still reckon if you went and ran a 5K or a 10K, you're probably going better than what you actually think.
Yeah, I agree. I think most of it's psychological.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, that'd be good. Should we thank some Patreon supporters? Who you got this week, Croaks?
I've got Jan Schliebach from Switzerland. He's coached by Guy Walters. Run to PB, Brady?
Yeah, correct. I did just message Zachary and Matt before to see if they had any info.
I saw you added a little bit here.
Yeah, had an ankle operation recently.
Yeah, so when I looked at his Strava, there wasn't a lot of running and those photos of him with a cast on his leg. But he has been able to do a little bit of cycling on Zwift. So what's he run? He ran 80:17 at this year's Zurich Half Marathon and 2:56 at the Copenhagen Marathon. He also competed in the 2022 Ultra Trail Kosciuszko 100-mile race, finishing in 26 hours and 52 minutes. So obviously, I don't know whether he's obviously spent time in Australia, but I don't know whether he came over just purely for that race or actually was living in Australia for a period of time. But regardless, thanks for your support and all the best with the rehab on the leg.
Yeah, on your yarn. Who you got, Moose?
I was just looking at 26 hours of running around the mountains. That's a long time to be on your legs in the mountains.
It might have been the snowy. I remember it snowed up there one year too. I think.
Just think about being at the bottom of a climb that might go for an hour and a half at 22 hours into your race. Oh. Kate Gaff is our Patreon shout out. Couldn't find her on Strava. That's a bit odd. Someone not on Strava. That's very rare these days. I don't reckon we get many Patreons that aren't on Strava. But we found some results, so we hope these are correct. 1959 at the Campbelltown Parkrun, 42:12 at the 2022 Run Melbourne 10, 89 minutes at the 2023 Geelong Half, and 3:07 at last year's Gold Coast Marathon. So that 3:07's pretty solid for those times, I reckon. I'm trying to think the best one I'd take there. I reckon they're all pretty even.
Pretty even, aren't they, from Kate?
Yeah. Just that got me thinking. I talked to you about those three ladies that come in that just started running.
Yeah.
None of them, no Garmin, no anything. How good's that?
Just raw dogging it.
Just go out for a run. Don't care about the pace. It's like, this is the way to do it.
Did they know you from the podcast, or how'd they come into shop?
Family, friends knew about it. Yeah.
And so on that, Moose, about not having like a watch or anything like that, it has been so long since I did a session where I didn't have like GPS feedback. How would you guys go? Because obviously we were runners before GPS watches existed, and it was, you just ran for 3 minutes, or you ran from this tree to that tree, and you didn't even really know how far the distance was. Whereas now it's like you're 30 seconds, or not even 30 seconds into a session, and you're already looking down at your watch to see what pace you're running at. Do you think there's a place for old school?
For sure there is. For sure.
Especially with juniors.
Yeah. Teaching someone how their body feels. And like, how long can you keep this up? How many more of these have you got in you? They're the kind of things that you learn when you do it that way.
And you also don't get obsessed because you don't really have a reference point. Like, you just do 6 3-minute reps or whatever, and you're like, I just ran hard for 3 minutes, but I got no idea what pace I was running at or how far it was. The feedback you get is when you go and race.
Yeah. The analyst, you can do this bit of analysis post-session where it's like, how did the session go? Oh, did you do 6 3-minute reps? Yeah, I did it. Good. That's it.
You finished it good.
The end.
Yeah. Whereas now you do 6 3-minute reps, but you're going back through like data of, how does that compare to my best, or how's it compared to last week? And it's not necessarily healthy from a mental state either.
And you watch 5 times for this 3 minute, each 3 minute rep as well. So you get, it's got stuff going through your head constantly.
The hardest part, if you were starting again, because I thought about just going out for a run, not taking my watch, is that I have, let me just check what I have. I have logged on my Strava, where's my profile? I've got like 25,000, maybe more now.
All time
kilometers on it.
You were really early on Strava, weren't you?
Yeah, I was pretty early. So I have 68,000 kilometers on Strava.
That's nothing, mate. I got 74,000.
Do you?
Yeah, I just looked it up then.
That's so much, isn't it? And I want to keep that going. Like, this is some good stuff. I just want, and one day you'll look back. This is like a diary. If you just go back sometimes and just click back on that link, activities, go back to 2016. I'm just going to click on one of these, and I'm going to click one run now.
I like on the app where it tells you like what you did a year ago as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. So this is me Sunday night with the pack, 40 minutes around the lake. And then day before, did a workout, a 20K warm-up. And then after that, 4x2K with a K float. And I got a pair of the Zoom Fly 3s on. I did the workout on the Zoom Fly 3. And this would have just released then, 23rd of July 2017. 40 minutes, 320 pace for 12. This is some good. Look, the day before, listen to Tell Me Your Tales.
Oh, did
on
you?
my run.
What
Dave
episode?
Ridley edition.
Which one?
Dave Ridley.
Dave Ridley had in years on old Tell Me Your Tales.
Yeah.
It's come up in someone's Spotify Wrapped the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Did see that.
Yeah, Z, over in Singapore. Yep,
Tell Me Your Tales, Nick Earl, earlier in the week.
Well, you're listening to 2 episodes of Tell Me Your Tales in the 1 week.
Yeah.
Absolutely frothing at Croaks, this bloke. He probably listened to his own episode a couple of times as well.
There was no thought of going and playing footy back then.
It was reeling, wasn't he?
This will get me back, boys. I just need to go back and look at this. This is good.
I'm going to thank my Patreon supporter, boys. That's what we're doing in this segment. It's Iana Malloy. Pretty sure he's from Adelaide, but his Strava is locked down. He's run 1:52 at the 2016 Sydney Morning Herald Half and 4:19 at this year's Melbourne Marathon. Also does a few triathlons, having completed Ironman Western Australia in 11:45. Is that a good time, fellas? 11:45? I'm not sure what that means for Ironman. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
I think it's pretty good.
If he's running a marathon in 4:19,
I reckon
doing it in 7 hours, like the professionals.
Yeah, 7 to 8 hours. I think those guys, the tops do it. And I think I don't know what the cutoff. I think the cutoff often's 16 hours, 17 hours.
He's smashing that. He's flying.
He's done well.
Thanks to all our Patreon supporters for supporting the show. If you like what we do on the Inside Running podcast, you can support us for as little as $5 a month at patreon.com/Inside Running Podcast. Show comes out early. Get access to all our bonus episodes and Road 2 series over the years. So probably nearly 300 episodes of bonus content that unlocks you there. And, all the kind of stuff, all the extra stuff that comes with that as well. If you also, we've got some news down the bottom here, fellas, if you want to scroll down to that. If you also want to support the Inside Running Podcast, a way to do that is by buying some of our upcoming merch. So I've partnered with our friends at Ernieold, which is cool. We haven't done merch for years, Moose. When was the last time we did merch?
I know,
Pre-COVID?
but still some in my box at one of the stores.
Well, people should snap that up because that would be, there wouldn't be much of that still kicking around. Maybe, no, I reckon I ran in Melbourne at the end of COVID, that December one. I reckon I wore our merch then, that Nike one. But this is exciting because Ernieold are the kings of production, I guess, here, whereas we used to just buy Nike singlets and screen print a little logo on it, but they are creating their very own Inside Running Podcast singlet, which is going to be available. It's going to be, we're going to put it on our socials tomorrow, I think, so you'll get to have a look at it. And then pre-sale closes on Wednesday, the 18th of December at 6 p.m. We did say to him, hey, can you come up with something kind of unique, something that you think represents us and Ernie Old, this kind of collaboration together? These are the notes that they come through with. So they said our colorway and design is directly inspired by heritage running singlet designs. We think it's a fitting design style that complements both Ernie Old and the Inside Running podcast. To us, that image of Rod Dixon's celebration, the golden era of running, and ties in perfectly to our design. They're produced in Melbourne. This is a limited edition running singlet, and it pays homage to Australia's favourite running podcast, making it a souvenir to runners who support not only the podcast but Australian distance running. It's designed for performance and inspired by heritage running garments, offering both style and function for athletes who embrace the history and future of our sport. Each race singlet, don't know whose idea this was, also includes an A4 commemorative poster signed by your friends at Inside Running Podcast, Brad, Brady and Moose. And it's got a bit of a Dixon reference there as well, boys. So keep an eye on our socials. Patrons will flick a link to you as well to be able to see it. It's a very nice colour. It's going to look good with a summer tan as well. There's more chat about tanning in this episode. And Wednesday, the 18th of December, 6 p.m. is when the pre-orders need to be done by. So that's exciting, boys. You got to stock a few in your shop as well, Moose?
Well, yeah, we'll see what the uptake is first, and then I might get a couple in just for the 1 in 100 that know what it is. When they walk in, they might be able to go, oh, I missed the pre-order on that. I might jump on one.
Sure, the poster wasn't your idea, was it, Brady?
It wasn't my idea. I have been doing a lot of the comms back and forth with the boys at Ernie Old. But yeah, that wasn't my idea. I like it though.
Yeah, I just thought maybe, you walk into these Lululemon stores and the posters are of Jess Stenson, not you, and you're like, this is my opportunity here. We'll just make a poster. And
get on a few kids' walls here.
I took the boys to the store up at the Gold Coast and they said, where's your picture? Not there. I said, I'm not selling stuff, boys, here. Need some bigger names than me on this wall. Tuke Miller's there. Max Gorn. Yeah.
No, that'd be good. They make a good quality piece of kit, Ernie Old. Most people would have probably seen the Melbourne editions getting around the Melbourne Marathon every year. And they are comfortable. Like, it's always I always judge a singlet material on how long it stays on if I go out for a run before I take it off and chuck it in the shorts. And I remember the first time I used that, got a decent halfway through the long run before I took it off. And that was a good sign it passed the test.
That is a good sign there as well. We do have a guest coming in a couple of minutes, Croaks, but I reckon we kick off running news. And then this guy might be able to come in halfway through the running news. So thanks to our official race results sponsor, Axel Coffee, who always keeps us caffeinated. We love it every morning. Axel Coffee is getting their festive on and dropped a new espresso blend for the holiday season. Creatively called the Holiday Espresso Blend with tasting notes of dark chocolate, cranberry, rum and raisin. What's not to love? Perfect for gifting this Christmas. Grab yours now in store or online. That's one thing I did notice when I got home, boys, from Queensland, a package from Axel Coffee there. Looking forward to trying this one out. Have you boys tried it yet?
I've got a story about my delivery.
Wasn't happy with his delivery
guy.
This
bloke is not a man
world
of the people,
problems, is he?
This is not a reflection on Axel Coffee, but so we've got one of those doorbells where as soon as there's like sensor, you basically get a notification. This guy rocked up and left a parcel, and then I get a message later on saying there was nobody home to drop off the coffee because you got to sign for it. And I looked back, and when that guy rocked up to drop off the parcel, which didn't need to be signed, he put that one down, rung the doorbell. If you need to sign for a parcel, how long do you reckon the delivery man should actually stay before he turns around and heads off? What's fair? A minute?
25 to 45 seconds.
Cars in the driveway?
What do you mean?
Can he see your home?
My car's out the front of the house, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not an abandoned house.
No. So there was 20 seconds from when he rung the doorbell to turning around and leaving. I got out there within 30 seconds, but because he dropped off a parcel that you didn't need to sign for, I assumed that's what it was. But I thought 20 seconds is a bit short to ring a doorbell and be gone and say, yep, no one's home.
When your house has two big problems, Moose. Can't get it in 20 seconds.
The fifth bedroom.
So I've got to go and collect it from the post office now.
Oh, you'll enjoy that. What's our first agenda of running news here, Moose, what are you telling me about the European cross-country champs?
Yeah, European cross. So it was on a 7.5k course. Where was it held again?
Was it Turkey?
Turkey, yeah, you're right, Turkey. Jakob come out the winner on this 7.5k course. I don't mind that from Jakob, rocking up to a cross-country event like this. He won by 8 seconds over Crippa from Italy and Dicumweneo, I think was he Belgium?
Spain.
Doesn't sound Spanish name, but he came third in 22:31. Spain won the teams event for men. In the ladies, the star there won as well. Battocletti from Italy, 25:43. And Klosterhalfen, haven't heard much of her lately. She come out and run second, the German, 25:54. And Yasmin Khan was third in 26:01. The Italians won the teams event.
Klosterhalfen's run, Moose, should inspire you. She pretty much hasn't done anything since 2019 as well.
She has age on her side. And
so question for you guys, like World Cross is 10K. Why do they make European Cross 7.5?
That's odd, isn't it?
I know.
And it's down it used to be 12K, then they put it down to 10.
Yeah.
Perhaps it encourages more athletes to get along to it. Yeah. So less of the marathoner crowd and more of the 3K type athlete to get up there for it.
Because World Cross also used to have short course, Croaks.
They did,
so
4K.
Maybe they've gone something in between.
Yeah. And I saw Ingebrigtsen's post about how this time last year he was running in the pool because he won the previous 3 Euro crosses. Yeah. Because he won a couple. I think he won like at least 1 or 2 opens, and then also the junior ones. So he's actually quite a big cross country fan.
And if it encourages a guy like him to do it, being 7.5K, it's a win.
Yeah,
that's good. Some more news over in the States. Amy Bunnage. We spoke about her. Was it last week when we were talking about the NCAA cross country results? Yeah. She went out and ran a track or short track because it's indoors, 200-meter laps at Boston. This is the fast track. They always run quick there. And she broke Lauren Ryan's Australian record because she ran a time of 15 flat, 0.75. The old record was 15:15. This is huge off Amy. Like, what a couple of weeks she's had here. Flying. It's like, it's crazy that we're talking 15 flat.
She was always going to be a star.
Yeah.
It was just when. Now we're starting to see her come through with a couple of seasons under her belt at college, and
she'd still have a couple left there too, wouldn't she?
Oh yeah, she's only
time to mature.
It's only second year.
Yeah.
And she's down for the 3K at Zatopek this weekend.
So she's coming home. 3 big races in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Really? She's still in the 3K?
Oh, no. So,
there's an open 3K.
There's an opens 3K, which, it's interesting. So, Cam Myers is obviously still eligible for the under-20s 3K, but he's running in the open 3K.
Oh.
Has he ever won the under-20 3K, though?
Yeah, I think he won it 2 years ago.
Okay. As long as he's won it before, that's okay.
Is there a 1,500?
No.
No 1,500.
Right. So, they've moved that to a 3.
The distance events are 800, 3K, 10,000.
Roger.
Which is good. Last bit of news, Croaks. Honolulu to take us there. A couple of Aussies in action.
So I know from previous years they have an elite mile on the afternoon before the Honolulu Marathon. So guys like Hobbs Kessler have come out the last couple of years. So Hobbs Kessler got the win there in 3:57, but Jack Anstey finished second to run 3:58. Which is the Australian road mile record is also 3:58 point something. So I'm not sure whether he broke it or not, or whether it's even legal. Oli Hoare was in the same race, finishing 6th in 4:04, and Jack Anstey's also down for the 3K this Saturday night.
This is good. All these people are coming back.
Yeah, the 3K. Obviously, Zatopek 10's the national championship, but the men's and women's 3K races are legit, pretty much national final level. if without the 10K runners being in there.
Yeah, crazy. That was the running news that was brought to you by Axel Coffee. Don't forget, Inside Running Podcast listeners, get an Axel Coffee exclusive. Head over to axelcoffee.com.au and use the code IRP20 for an exclusive 20% off your first order. That's perfect for Christmas gifts and, of course, treating yourself. Now, boys, we're going to talk about some of the action that we're going to see at the on-track nights at Zatopek 10K on Saturday night. We've got one of the friends of the show. He's the number one man at On. He's an Olympian, Ben Buckingham. Thanks for joining us again on the Inside Run podcast.
Thank you, Brady, Bradley, Julian. Good to be here.
What's been happening, Bucks? I haven't heard your voice for a while.
I just had the post-Olympic break. I had a lovely holiday with my wife in France and Italy, and then just been on a slow build back. Up at Falls Creek at the moment, doing a bit of training with the group, which is really nice. I'm just going for a walk on the aqueduct at the moment, just while I chat to you boys. So just sort of enjoying. Like last year, I was really injured, really broken post-season. I didn't sort of start running until January, so I've just been enjoying, like, not being rushed and a slow return for next year.
Good, I like that. And the body's like good. You're fit now, coming into the first race of the season.
No, I'm going well. I had a little flare up last week. Had a couple of days off for something in my in my top adductor. I think it was just a really slippery trail, and just got a little bit sore. But you sort of take a couple of days, you build back slow, and I'm feeling pretty good now. So looking forward to racing in Melbourne, because I rarely get to do that, especially the last couple of years. I've pretty much missed the domestic seasons a lot with injury. It only really got going in May, June. So it's always enjoyable to race in front of family and friends back home, because it doesn't happen that often with European seasons.
Yeah, this field bucks as well for this 3K. It looks spicy. We've got some big names in here, like yourself, Cam Myers. Who else would be a threat? Jack Bruce.
Jack Anstey.
Yeah,
Jude Thomas.
Jackson Sharp.
Like
Ramsden.
We're basically saying, like, outside of the guys that are running the 10K, like, it's pretty much national final caliber, this 3K, and it's first race of the season. Like, how do you think it'll play out? Do you think it'll be tactical, given first race, people just want to not maybe show all of their cards?
I mean, I think the good thing with the 3K is no one's that stressed about actually having a race and attacking and making moves, because it's no one's sort of pet event. So I think I was told the pace might be 62 and a halves. I don't know who asked for that. I certainly haven't. But let's say that 7:48 pace, which is probably get us going at a nice clip. I mean, the pace will probably do 4 laps. They'll stop. We'll probably slow a bit and have a burn up, much like the national final last year. Hopefully, there's not a 10-man pile up at the bell this time, and that'll be make for an exciting race.
What are your tactics going in, Bucks, without giving too much away? Like, do you say, hey, this is the person I reckon is going to be a good person to shadow in the field, or are you just, like, worrying about yourself there? Like, or does Craig sit you down 10 minutes before or the day before and say, hey, this is the plan?
I don't know. He might do that. I can't speak to that. But, I mean, domestic races, like, it's just a race. I mean, you go in, you settle, you react. I don't really sometimes go in with a preconceived plan. I just go in, just trying to stay calm. And I mean, like, one of the things you've got to be able to do is, like, you've got to be able to get yourself out of a bad situation. So in some ways, like, you can't be always trying to run the perfect race. You've got to be able to be good enough to make a mistake and extract yourself from it without wasting energy. So settle where you settle, and then just move up when you can. Pretty much it.
And outside of yourself, Bucks, who do you reckon's the one to beat?
Well, I mean, I can only speak for my training partners. I mean, Zach's been trying to kill me in training for a month, so he's definitely going really well. I think he might have come 5th at the 3K final last year or last season. I mean, Cam Myers is obviously excellent. A lot of those boys have got very good finishes. So honestly, I haven't really looked at the field. I'm just looking forward to a race, especially a race that's not a steeple. It's normally quite relaxing. It's not that nervous, and you just get stuck in. So I'm not too stressed, to be honest. I'm just quite excited.
Bucks, you're up at Falls Creek now. What's training looking like up there? Like, do you have a different weekly structure than when you're back home?
I went from 2 workouts a week to 3. Craig's put us on more of an old school program, so more of a Ks, quarters, and threshold, and then I don't know if you guys have been to Falls Creek. The guys have been doing a 2-lap progressive of Mount Mackay, like the 5K warm-up loop. which is certainly been a bit tasty in some of the weather. But it's November, December. It's pretty standard training. It's just building for the season. So I wouldn't, apart from adding a workout, nothing's really changed up here.
Hour and a half Sunday, or 2 hours? What are you running for the longies?
I normally run I find an hour 45. I've probably done for the last 5 or 6 years. I ran an hour 45 like the day I travelled up with Lyndon at Yarra Flats. So that's 25k hour 45. I know maybe 405s. I didn't do that up here, but that's roughly what I'd say I long run at. A bit slower than Bradley.
Well, it sounds very similar to Croaks, to be honest. Just one of you's an Olympian, the other one's not.
I'll slow down.
All the whacking long runs, clearly.
I've slowed down a fair bit. Don't worry.
So you've gone to Falls Creek. Surely you didn't drag your wife up there with you?
No. That's something. That's my more exciting news is that my wife and I are expecting.
Oh, congratulations!
Congratulations, mate.
End of February. So she's definitely didn't come up this time. But that's our big exciting news, and we're really excited about that. Our next adventure.
That's cool, mate. Well done.
Exclusives on this show. Andy Buchanan and Izzy last week, and then the Ben Buckingham pregnancy news this week.
Well, I thought I've got a lot of inspiration from you boys. As a few people said to me, Bradley, the day of it, you can do a workout and route to the hospital, 90k the week after, just tick along. So jokes aside, I'm really looking forward to it. It's very exciting.
Good callback for you, Bucks. That's very good memory.
Listeners.
You need to be a loyal listener to get that reference. But,
You do.
That is still one of the most insane things I've ever heard of.
I do look back at it now and shake my head going, what the hell was I doing?
So just for the new listeners, Croaks' wife, Viv, was having contractions and he said, just hang on, I've got a workout to do. So he took her down to the local lake. She sat there on her chair and watched him bang out a monofartlek before they went to the hospital.
To be fair,
plus the cool down as well.
No, there isn't anything to be fair about. That's the whole story.
That was 9 a.m. She gave birth 12 hours later. Plenty of time.
Could have done the double, really.
Hey, Bucks, what's the vibe like with the training group at the moment? Fair to say, like the middle distance group absolutely killed it last season with Claudia and Bendiri and Peyton. I guess the more distance guys probably had mixed bag. How's everybody tracking for the season?
No, they're tracking well. Zach, he made well cross just to start the year. He was just a little bit unlucky with injury in the middle because we were on a camp in Boulder together, and he was going really well. And then he had a bit of a stressy. So he's going really well. Ed's building back really well. He's just, it's a pretty freak accident when you do your ankle at nationals, especially considering the shape he was in around there. So it's been more just enjoyable the last month with just all the boys together training because we haven't really had a chance to do that since they've all been there. Because I was pretty injured when they all first joined, and then pretty much when I got back early this year, Ed went down. So just enjoying training together because when you've got about 4 or 5 guys, like it's a really fun way to do training. Just sharing reps and and just doing workouts in bad conditions and windy, rainy days. So it's good fun.
How are you passing the time up there, Bucks? Like you're, one of the.
Well, I'm working, boys. So I'm
good.
I'm not napping or I'm doing puzzles all day.
Yeah, that's good. That's a mature answer from a mature guy. Because I was thinking it could get pretty boring up there with a few younger people, couldn't it? Bit immature.
They're all pretty. they've all done pretty much all done an American degree, and they're all really really interesting, switched on people. Obviously Clouds is a bit younger, but she's very mature. But I really like it up here because I can just. Training's from the front door, training, treatment, gym. You don't have to drive or travel anywhere. You got no social commitments. You just lock in and train and work. And I find the days blend together really well. I've been at ANZ now since December 2020, and they've been very supportive the whole way along. I've pretty much been able to take 3-4 months off every year for the last 5 or 6 years. I've been incredibly I've really lived the dream of traveling and racing whilst keeping my job the rest of the year. So it's a really good balance, and you don't really know when you're going to be done. I figure I've got a couple more years. I said I'd do it till I stop making teams. So I'm just looking forward to next year and hopefully going back to Tokyo and racing again that stadium with it being with a full crowd.
Yeah, missed that at the Olympics, didn't you? Yeah, good point. What are you looking forward to watching any other races on Saturday night? Like, it's the second year we've seen On take over and that whole track night kind of vibes with the I guess the entertainment, the wow factor that it kind of brought last year.
I mean, just having a full track is really exciting of itself, because it always reminds me of European meets when you've got a real buzz around the stadium, you've got a big crowd of people getting in, there's big queues, you've got people outside. Like that really adds something to it. I always enjoy the 10Ks. I mean, obviously, I know a lot of the guys and girls racing. Like I've done training with some of them, and that's going to be exciting to watch. And I think the women's 3K will be quite exciting as well. Is there anything else you guys are excited about that I've missed?
Well, I want to know who's your tip for the men's and women's 10K titles?
I'll confess, I probably better. So the women's, I probably know the field better. I mean, that'd be Lauren, Leanne, and Rose. I don't think I've missed anyone there. So it's hard to know because I don't really know what shape they're all in. I mean, I think obviously Leanne's been going really, really well. Lauren's come back and she was very impressive this time last year. And I mean, Rose is the person you back in if she's there with a mile to go. You really back her in, and she's been training well up here. So I honestly don't know. I think I more hope the three of them are together with 5-6 laps to go and you really see an exciting battle. That's more what I'm hoping for.
How's the groups mixing up there with you got Melbourne Track Club and then you have On? Is there you guys all do workouts together, afternoon runs, long runs all at the same time?
We don't work out together, but we'll sometimes you'll bump into each other. Sometimes we all run at the same time, and we do similar runs on occasion. So we'll definitely catch up for runs. I've done a few with I ran on Friday with Saturday with Jack Bruce and Jude Thomas, which was fun. So I mean you've got your own specifics, but you'll bump into and run together when you do. Pretty
small place, isn't it, for two big groups?
Well, there's not a lot going on the mountain in November, December. That's for sure, Julian. There's one cafe. We all run at the same spots. I mean, we all work out at the same spots. So it's I think they were all doing quarters at the same time, like just passing each other the other day. So it's definitely, I suppose that adds a bit of fun to it too when there's another elite group training near you.
What's the rest of the summer looking like, Bucks? You got some races penciled in?
Well, obviously it's going to be a little bit, dependent on family news, but I'll run the steeple in Adelaide, Feb 15. Then I'll run something at Morrie Plant. I don't know what the schedule is there yet, but be it a 3K maybe, or I don't actually know what's on. But again, that's an opportunity to race at home. And then I'll run nationals in April 12. And then depends what I get into. There's a couple of steeples at the Diamond Leagues in China. And then you sort of look further afield depending on how the year fits together. But a lot of that will just depend on if you'll get me into races, and then I'll plan my season accordingly.
Yeah, good. Any more questions for him, boys, before we let him continue his walk along the aqueduct?
No, just all the best Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm going to be there in person, Bucks. I can't wait to see you go around in person.
I look forward to seeing you in person, and appreciate your time, gents. Thank you.
No worries at all, Bucks. Good luck. See you, mate.
See ya. Ciao.
All right, boys, you want to preview the 10K now while we're talking about this meet? We did it last year. Let's do it again. Before we start, I must preface this and say, just because we're picking someone to argue that we think they're going to win the race, it does not mean that we do dislike every single other person in the field. So don't take any of this stuff personally. Izzy Bad-Doyle was keeping receipts when we did a similar thing last year, Moose, and brought it up to you 10 months later. But we put some names in the hat, we picked them out. Croak's got a name pulled out of the hat that he didn't like today and said, I can't even argue for that person because I don't think they're even going to be in the top 3. So we did a bit of a swap there. And we'll go the women's first, hey? The women's race. Which race actually happens first on the timetable?
Yeah, the women's first.
Women's first at 8:55. No, they're 7:45 p.m. All right. Croaks, who you got? Who'd you pull out of the hat today?
So I got Leanne.
Easy.
Leanne is on a hot streak. Arguably the most informed distance runner of the past 6 months. She's won 9 races straight across all distances from 5K to the half marathon. In the process, she's beaten Izzy Bad-Doyle, the Australian 10K road record holder, and Georgia Griffith, the Australian 3K record holder. Feel like the last 6 months, this year. She's gone to a new level, been training the house down in Perisher, and I'm predicting she'll run the legs off run the girls off their feet, and then she'll move her focus to a marathon early next year. So very hard to beat at the moment, Leanne. So that's my tip.
He's got the inside line to Leanne too, doesn't he, Bruce?
Yeah,
train and partner for
dropping
Leanne.
her name a lot.
He's going to be her pacemaker when she steps up to the marathon.
Yeah, he imagine in the chats there, he'd be peppering it, all the stuff that he wouldn't say here. It'd be nice to be a fly. Well, if she's not going to win though, because Rose Davies is going to win.
That's who you've got, Moose. Tell us why.
Yeah, well, Rose came 12th at the Olympics. That's
not in the 10K.
Does it? It doesn't matter. That's what's on. That's what she was at the Olympics for, the 5K, and she's going to be in the Zatopek 10K because that's what the race is. She doesn't bother with the 3K kids race. She is going out to win another national title. We've seen her do it time after time at Zatopek. If you start seeing that lean happen, you know she leans into the corners, Rose, and she just fires up, slingshots out of them. If she's there with a mile to go, then it's her race, and most likely she's going to be there with a mile to go.
Do you reckon a mile? I reckon 2 laps to go. If Leanne's on the front with a mile to go, still nailing in nails, I reckon Rose can drop off.
Talking about a 14:41 girl.
She's been injured though, hasn't she? Is she fit?
Well, I don't have the inside word on it. I don't have the inside line. I can't help you there.
Hasn't raced recently, has she? When was her last race? The Olympics?
She came 12th at the Olympics, mate. You're only as good as your last race.
It was in August, wasn't it?
Went 14:49.
July, in an event that wasn't this event.
14:49 in the Olympic final.
No doubt the other girls will want to get rid of Rose well before the last 600.
Yeah, these girls have seen the script before and they're not going to let that happen. We saw Leanne to George Griffiths up at the Noosa Bolt 5K. She's like, I know how to end these people's races before it gets to the kick finish.
Well, even the year that Leanne won Zatopek, like she just wound it up and wasn't afraid to sort of then just go off the front.
That was against Rose too. Was Rose there that day?
I think Rose was there that day, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got the winner, boys. I got the back-to-back champ here, Lauren Ryan. She's coming back from the USA, boys, and there's only one reason she's coming back from the USA, and that's to get her second title in 2 years. She's a product of the NCAA system, unlike the other two girls, so they probably don't have the knowledge, the tactics that Lauren Ryan does. She's, people often compare Lauren Ryan to Jess Hull and how good they both are tactically. We saw it last year. Wasn't it one of the most amazing Zatopeks of all time when she just toyed with the field, put in a few surges here, slowed it down, dropped it back? The national record holder, listen to this time, 30-35. She'd smack up both you boys over a 10K. At the moment, she would absolutely be flying. Can win it either way. And talking about the Olympics, Moose, Lauren Ryan actually was in the 10,000 metres at the Olympics. Do you know where she finished? You'd written her off for the weeks before. Nah, she's done. Season's too long. 9th. She come 13th, but that was a deep field. A lot of Africans in front of her. So Lauren Ryan is my person I'm arguing for to win. Had that good half marathon recently too in Boston. Hilly course, ran 71. It's going to be good to watch. I saw her on Instagram today. She got the Olympic rings tattoos, so she's up and about. She wants to show those off on Saturday night. She'll get the W.
I'll tell you what, Brady, you've really changed your tune over the last year. Last year, you didn't even have her as one of the favourites. You had her in the field.
Did I?
She was just in the field, which I'd argue for Lauren last year. But
did you pick Lauren last year? Was she yours last year?
Yeah, because I had the field, so
That's
I picked
right.
Lauren last year. But we know what you're like, Brady. Like changing your mind. Go to flavour of the month.
Yep. And Lauren's the flavour of the month, and she's going to get it done on Saturday night. The men's boys, who'd you get here, correct? You got the field, so that means you can pick anyone in the field. You didn't have to pick one person.
Well, I'll go last. If I've got the field, you guys go with the, I guess, so-called favourites.
You go first, Moose.
No, this is for you, Brady. You can lead it out, and I'll rebut.
Well, I have Brett Robinson, the previous king of Australian distance running. Up until last week, he was the king, the alpha, stood on that top step. He was on the throne, and there's one thing you need, boys, and Brett's got this one thing that nobody else in the field has. Do you know what it is? He's got hate in his heart. And Chriso will say, you need a bit of hate to run well. And he would be fuming. Had to give up his spot for the Olympics to Andy. Then Andy goes out and takes his national record. This is the guy who's been the alpha of Australian distance running probably since Collis and Craig Mottram both retired a good 10 years ago. So he's been used to sitting on that top step. And he would have hate in his heart, and he will be going out there on Saturday night to go, you know what, I'm about to show everyone that I'm still the king, maybe not the king of the marathon anymore, but he wants to win his third Zatopek title. He won his first one 10 years ago, so that would have a good ring to it. He's won another one in there 2020 where he beat Jack Rayner, so that's one of his big competitors on Saturday night. All class, Brett Robinson.
When was that?
Hey?
Remind me. What was that year that he beat Jack Rayner?
2020.
Oh, that's 4 years ago for an aging marathoner.
And he's had a terrible year, and there's no way he's not got. If he couldn't win this race, he wouldn't race because he needs to have a good result at Zatopek. He's got people punching him. He's losing credibility. Not losing credibility. He's losing his rankings, and he needs to come out here and start throwing a couple of haymakers, with his feet, I guess I'm kind of saying here, to be able to get his dominance back and prove to everyone that he's the top dog in Australian distance running. It's like, those people who are rich and they've got like good cars that they just drive for special occasions. That's what Brett Robinson is. We wouldn't be seeing him on the track if this wasn't a special occasion, and that's why he's going to win it on Saturday night.
It would be a huge win for him, I think.
He needs it, doesn't he?
I think you would see some real, Craig Mottram-esque celebrations when he sort of came back and won Zatopek that year.
No, it was a 5K he won that
year.
It wasn't Zatopek, but he let the crowd know about it, that the king had returned. Exactly, Moose. Those kind of vibes.
That is
it was
the
pissing
vibe.
Down rain, and then Mottram's just fucking pointing to the crowd saying, you guys wrote me off and now I'm back, baby. That's what I'm feeling. I'm getting goosebumps talking about
it. He's pointing at? He's picking you at, and he's pointing at you as he crosses the line.
I'm backing him up here. I'm backing him.
No, you do, yeah. That would be a fan favourite win, but it's not going to actually eventuate because there's a man standing in his way. Mr. Wins Everything, Jack Rayner. Mr. Australian record holder, fastest Aussie to ever do it. Now, when you're looking at a lineup of athletes, you go, what are their PBs? And our man, Jack Rayner's run 27:09, fastest Australia to ever run 10,000 metres, and he did it this year, although it was back in March. He did do it this year. So it's a calendar year Australian record. He's also run 2:11:49. He won Melbourne Marathon, made it look absolutely pedestrian when he was out there. That's what it looked like. Bloke out for a Sunday walk. Ran 13:19 this year. So he's shown a lot of form, even though there was a big gap that may have sort of pushed him back a little, but we've seen that Melbourne did not do that. So he's coming off a real strength-focused block by the marathon training that got him there to Melbourne. I reckon he might have just shifted the focus a little to some faster stuff after that. You got Jack Rayner, who could win it multiple ways, to be honest. Does have himself a pretty fierce little kick, but, he's run 27:09, so could make it fast also. Anyone that could go with him, Croaks?
Well, he does have the quickest PB in the field, but Moose, PBs don't win your races. Current form wins your races. And the field, a couple of guys in there that have actually beaten him this year. First one, Sam Clifford. Smoked everyone at Burnie, including Isaac Hayne, which I'll talk about shortly. And Sam beat Jack Rayner at Noosa Bolt. So I feel like there's going to be a bit of a changing of the guard. Maybe this weekend, if not, in the near future. So Sam Clifford, for me, is one to watch. Then we've got Isaac Hayne. Deadly kick if he's still there with a lap to go. So I think that'll make Jack a bit uneasy, as he can't rely on his hit and kick like he's done in the past against guys like Pat Tanning, because if you guys saw the finish of City Bay this year, Isaac did get the best of Jack there. And the last one that I have down is Have To. Now, this bloke is class. What did he finish? 4th at NCAA Cross, and he's been on our one to watch list for the last few years, and I reckon he's close to a massive breakthrough. He had a good win at the Run Prix 10K in low 28 minutes and finished second to Andy in 62 minutes at the Melbourne Half. And also, the meet is sponsored by On. So I reckon you'd be fired up to send them a message after they let him go. So I'm sure he'd love nothing better than to win the on-track nights 10,000 metre Zatopek champ in a pair of Asics. So they're three from the field that are legitimate chances and a bit more of a probably changing of the guard.
I like that from you, Croaks. Come prepared.
Yeah, I mean, we get a chance to rebut that, don't we, Brady?
There's another guy, Sebastian Frey. He's from Austria. He's a 13:25K runner. He ran on the weekend at the European Under-23 Cross. So, I guess you can't discount a guy that's run 13:20 for 5K. But, anyway, there are a few from the field.
What about the New Zealanders? Didn't rate any of the New Zealanders? Remember last year I had the field and didn't pick
I know.
Corkscrew, and he went and won it.
Well, last year the field. Lauren was in the field and she won, and Corkscrew was in the field for the men's, and so we never actually. Well, I spoke about Lauren, but we didn't speak about Andrew.
Yeah, I haven't even seen a field list, to be honest.
Couple of New Zealanders. I don't know a lot of these guys, but I'm just looking a couple up, Croaks. But yeah, it's good to see that they've come over. A few there.
You got guys like Have to and who was the other one you said?
Sam Clifford and Isaac.
Yeah, so Isaac and Have to. Mate, weren't they 3rd and 4th at like a bloody Collingwood Classic last week?
That was the Vic 5K champs, weren't they?
Yeah.
Do you tempted to put Matt Buckle in there? Breakthrough run.
Yeah, I think 10K is just a bit far.
What about Jack Rayner? This bloke's run 27:09.
Yeah, I know, but he has been beaten by
he also ran a marathon 8 weeks ago. Probably would have had a bit of a rest after those. Maybe been only back training for like 5 weeks.
I do feel though that like Jack and Brett have been around for like quite a while. That like I reckon it's not too far away before some of these guys do have like these big breakthroughs. I personally still think
those guys.
I still think Have to has a big run in him.
Have to is an international athlete, but so are Brett and Jack. There are not many people in this list here who are actually like international level athletes yet. Maybe they'll turn into that, but not yet.
Have to disappointed me at the Vic 5000 champs. Like I was, an athlete of his caliber should be romping that in, and he should be winning that convincingly. So, at the time, I think he ran 13:49 maybe, or was it 13:52? But just that type of level of race, and if we're considering Have to an international athlete, that should just be like a little bit of dessert for him. Those last two.
Yeah. Can we just put it down to a bad day? Because he's he's 28:09 at that run pre 10K and 62 for the that was debut half, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
we
saw what Andy did after that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm disappointed because there's so much potential there, and that I mean, Michael Jordan didn't hit every shot. He had bad games, so we won't. I'm not writing him off. Just looking for a big breakthrough like you are.
It's going to all happen Saturday night, fellas. If you want to get a ticket, if you're in Melbourne, you can get a cheap ticket if you use Inside Running 20 to get 20% off your ticket. It's going to be exciting. You going to go down, Moose?
No, I'm away, actually.
Okay. What are we doing now? Can we skip listening to question, Croaks? Big show. Can we go Moose on the loose and then finish it off? What do you got, Moose?
Yeah, well, I kind of gave away my purchase of the week. Leg extension machine.
Yeah, first 45 seconds of the show. I reckon you were talking about that.
Extension.
The boots. Yeah. I think the boots was the first purchase.
Oh, yeah, that.
Oh, the Mizuno Medallias, something like that.
Do you pay full price or do you get them through like a store? Like can you buy 40 boots?
Mizuno, so
sneaky.
They got super foam, carbon plate. What's the go?
No foam. There's no foam at all. There's you're sitting on the studs. And I think that's what they like, but I don't really like that. I was expecting a little bit more special feeling out of the box. They gave me the option. I think I had the choice of like a bright yellow, neon yellow pair. And I thought, oh, could do that. That's how you get attention. You know, the year that Adam Cooney went number one, that was my year. And I reckon that he only just pipped me for that number one spot because he dyed his hair blonde. and he just stood out.
Move on from footy chat. Move on.
Maybe you should have a look at what's the world record for the fastest marathon in a pair of footy boots. That's got your name written all over it.
No way I could train for a marathon. Find something shorter. I'm pretty happy at the moment. I'm looking forward, actually. Tomorrow the ASICS Super Blast 2 releases in a different colour, so that's about to go wild. Because that's been like one and done back on the Gold Coast when that released last time. No one's seen a single pair in any store for 6+ months. So we got a lot of desperate humans on our hands.
Yeah, I forgot about that shoe actually.
You boys got one still? You kicking it?
I still
use it.
Yeah, I've got it's beat up though. I'd have hundreds and hundreds of Ks in it.
You want a pair?
I often, if you want to flick me a free pair,
I'll get you
feel
a pair.
free. USA.
I'll get you a pair, Croaks. You want to buy a pair?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to.
You put the buy in for that bit.
I bought something from you last week, Moose. So
What'd you get?
My Christmas present. Well, Viv bought it for me, but I was going to buy it myself.
What was it?
That got a bit awkward last week when we were talking about that.
I knew exactly.
The Cora's armband.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been trying to talk you into that for months. It's a good purchase. Great
Must have
purchase.
found it on sale. Oh, no, it was Viv that bought it.
Yeah,
Black Friday, she called up.
Full price.
What are the discounts?
Happy to pay full price, Moose.
Hey, there's no fucking margin in electronics, I tell you that much.
Use Croaks 15.
No, that is the worst industry to get into, electronics. Shit. So I'm gonna. What am I? Yeah, Super Blast. You tell me what you want. Anyone listening now, there's a chance there might be some left after the drop goes Wednesday morning. If you're interested, hit us up. Might be able to send one of these only old posters in the box, but only Brady will sign it because.
Well, they've got to send them to us to sign, don't they? And then they'll send them back.
I don't know how that's going to work, but
I'll just fake Brady's signature on one of those old cards that he made up to hand out at his speaking gigs.
No, remember our first early days on Patreon? We used to send them. I forged your signature on a photo of you two with your shirts off. This is when I thought we'd have 7 Patreon supports. I'm like, this would be funny. I'll post them. If anyone's got any of those, could you please put it on social media and tag us in? I would love. There was a bit. Weren't you laying in a hammock, Croaks? With your shirt?
Yeah, that's right. I was in where was I? Vanuatu, I think.
Yeah.
Was it Vanuatu? I don't know. No, maybe Thailand.
That was a good gag from me.
Hey, Moose, what's the biggest difference between Super Blast 1 and Super Blast 2?
Foam softer.
Oh.
Bouncier.
More soft foam. It's exactly what we need, Croaks.
They also filled the bottom in so that you don't get rocks stuck in there.
Yeah.
And a little bit more tread, grip.
All right.
Yeah.
We're done. What do you got coming up other than selling Super Blast 2 Moose? Anything else in your life? Or are you going away, you said?
Yeah, I'm going away this coming weekend. No, just checking the calendar. Bree's getting her hair done at 2:30 on Thursday. That's all I got. That's all I got in my calendar this week.
Oh, you'd have statewide transition day tomorrow, wouldn't you, for Pia? She got to do a practice run at her kinder.
No, I thought that was in January or something.
Oh, okay.
We're in Victoria.
Yeah, so are my kids.
Oh.
I'm doing that tomorrow morning. Carly's left a list of places to drop the kids. This one goes to school. This one goes to kinder. Pick this one up at this time. Bang, bang, bang.
Oh no, that's on February the 3rd.
Okay. Anyway, Croaks, what are you doing between now and next week?
We've got the Mulligans handicap Saturday morning.
And you race it as well?
No, I'll organise it.
Jump in a race, you coward. Get out there.
So I had Elliot over on Saturday afternoon for us to finalise the handicap. So I'll release them on Wednesday, and then we're going to do I'll probably start at 7:30 before it gets too hot, and then everyone's going to come back to my place for a swim and something to eat afterwards. So it should be a fun morning.
Absolutely.
What are you going to eat? You cooking up some eggs and bacon or what?
Yeah, I'd say eggs, bacon, some hash browns. Might make some bircher muesli.
Ooh.
You clean the pool?
Yeah.
This bloke's living life. He's living it
you
on
making
a cheat
shower
code.
before you get in?
Nah.
You got a shower for the pool?
No, don't have to shower for the pool.
That's a bit dirty.
That's what you got bloody chlorine and stuff for, Moose.
What do they make you shower for at other pools?
I don't know. Some pools you do. Is it the mineral the mineral pools you have to like shower afterwards or something. But no, like I make sure I just clean the pool like regularly with like a vacuum and clean the filter and have enough chlorine in the pool through the like salt chlorinator, and that keeps it clean and healthy.
Chuck in some bricky acids as well now and then.
That's right. Bit of, yep.
Bricky's acid.
Either acid or some bicarb.
Yeah, that gets it going. It's just like the blue collar pool chemical mousse. Bricky's acid. Go ask for it at Bunnings, say, look at your real weird, and then they have to unlock the big cage, correct? You know what I'm talking about?
Nah, because I've still got the guy who sold us the house. There's still some stuff left here.
Left some bricky acid.
Yeah.
Good on him. All right, we're done, fellas. Do it all again next week. Good luck to everyone doing Zatopek. I don't know if any of those people listen. Good luck if you're going to Zatopek. And we'll do it all again next week, please.
Live stream for Zatopek? Is it on like
live stream? I'm at the finish line, Croaks. I've got the mic at the finish as they win.
Is it on like Victorian Athletics?
Yeah, it's not Athletics exclusive anymore. So I'm not sure what the company is who's running it, but I'd say it'd be Athletics Victoria. They'll publish it all on their maybe on as well. I don't know.
We might put a link up once we find out as well. Yeah.
So you got interviews, on the ground interviews?
Yeah, because last year they did two streaming teams. Or there was a streaming team, and then there was people in stadium. So there was like 4 people, and then I just assumed that when Athletics Exclusive weren't doing it, that I wouldn't be asked back to do it. But then they called me today and said, "Do you want to do the finish line?" Which I'm a bit nervous about because it's hard to prep because you don't know who's going to win.
Pays for his summer of holidays, Moose.
That's the whole point, though. That's why the on-the-ground interviews are the best. You got to be prepared.
Yeah, so I just think I just pick like 5 or 6 people and do the research on those 5 or 6 people, and then be like, hope that one of those 5 or 6 people wins. But it's like insane. It's going to be like a 30-second interview.
Yeah. So make sure you've researched Clifford, Have-to, and who's the other one? Isaac.
Do you reckon I interview someone and they go, you didn't even mention me in your preview on Monday night, you prick? I could get real awkward. Did I flag anyone off? As long as Brett Robinson wins, I'll be happy. Him and Lauren Ryan. It's going to be good. I'll be like, the King's back. He's throwing haymakers out there. Well done, Brett Robinson. So, yeah, we'll see how we go. Should be fun, though. Looking forward to getting down there on the ground. Do it all again next week, boys. See you later.
See ya.
See ya.
Set your new PB at the ASICS Gold Coast Marathon. Make sure you grab your entry before they sell out. Head to goldcoastmarathon.com.au for more info.